There you go.
All right, here we go. Live or previously recorded from the 2025 John Deere Classic, 18th green.
Winning score this year predicted to be 86 under.
Yeah, probably 87, 80,
Yeah.
85. So,
We haven't
uh,
seen scores like that since the putt-putt championships of 84.
yeah, hopefully, hopefully sound is good. These are new noise canceling headphones to try to reduce all the noise from everything I'm always doing that's not in the office when I'm taking calls.
Yeah, you've suddenly entered into 2015. Welcome to the
And
conversation.
it's a very strange feeling. It really does feel like everything is muffled around me, which is wild. You put
That's
them
the
on,
point.
I know, but I can feel it like in my ears, kind of. It's super weird. So like you put them on, and it's almost like a golfer or a movie or something. Like you're making a free throw, and literally when it
Hmm.
just zones in. It's a wild little deal. That's
Yeah.
actually a really nicely placed cloud right there. It's almost like a virtual background. Um, okay, so today is what day? Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay, so today, so every year I come home. This is my hometown. Come back for the John Deere tournament. Our family's been involved, and my sister works for the tournament now, and we've been involved for so long. So I always try to come back if schedules allow. Tuesday is really tournament week starts to kick off. So we love golf. I've been to a lot of different golf tournaments, done some different things around the country with golf tournaments, PGA wise. So you kind of get to know the schedule. Um, the tournament week starts on Monday, but Tuesday, practice rounds. Monday, you get some practice rounds. Even Sunday, there's guys out here playing a little bit. So they start getting to know the course a little bit, good for the tournament. But the rounds that you see on TV and stuff, and the actual golf starts Thursday. But some of the exciting stuff with the local people is like Tuesday and Wednesday. So you love women's basketball. Just a minute ago, Lisa
It's the
Bluter.
greatest sport that nobody watches.
Lisa Bluter was formerly Iowa girls coach. They had a big like women's day. Her and a bunch of other like CEO types were giving speeches and stuff. And so that just wrapped up. So the spot I was gonna be in was taken. So I'm out on one of the like suites just around the green here on 18 for today, and then golf will get started. But that's not what we talk about. But we should start talking about other things other than real estate because other things are fun too.
Yeah, because what we do isn't fun. So,
Not right now. It's just so volatile is the word of the decade so far.
yeah.
So quickly, you're also summertime is vacation time. We see it with clients, we see it with work partners, and even ourselves a little bit. Try to catch a break and a breather to get back in there for the rest of the year. But oh, see the headphones are doing something even funnier now. You can still hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Oh, crazy. So, but yeah, we get a lot of people that leave town, and business can sometimes slow in real estate in the summer. Everyone talks about the spring buying season. I think a lot of things have changed lately to where people leave in the summers and go on vacations, and the markets can get a little slow for a bit until they, return. So you're out of town as well, right?
Yeah, we're down in Galveston for a couple
I've never
days.
never been to Galveston.
Brown, it's beautiful.
So
Not much,
what are the activities down there?
nothing. We're in a town that has literally like three gas stations. That's it.
Oh, so not Galveston proper, you're in a smaller one?
Yeah, we're maybe an hour south down the coast.
Oh, okay. Wow, farther down.
Yeah. The interesting thing is, though, for 35 years we've been coming down here periodically. This is the first trip in which you do not see ships all along the horizon.
Really?
There are zero cargo ships coming in and out of the Port of Galveston and Port of Houston.
So, okay, so this will lead in really well to talk about interest rates and market updates and stuff. But so obviously that probably has to do with tariffs and different things. So what's the local economy like? Have you talked to anybody down there or just like the
No,
restaurant mentioning anything?
there's two restaurants. We haven't gone to one yet. The
Okay.
only other locals we saw were four Mexican dudes putting a trailer on a trailer.
Okay. Trailer and trailers. All right. Good.
So there is no local economy. It's you got to go up to, I think it's like, I don't even know what it is. It's the city north just off the coast.
Is this a
Where we
secret?
are is
Dis
surfs. No, where we are is Surfside. It's like traditionally just like RV park for fishermen, but now there's Airbnbs.
Okay. Nice. Well, let's see if I can pull out the glasses. But the Surfside is the name of the town.
Yeah, I think that's the name of the town. I mean, that's what we call it. I don't know if it's
So
the actual name of the town.
isn't Galveston have like a strip or a lot of oceanfront homes and stuff like that? How far away would that actual area be?
We're an hour from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, never been to Surfside either, so nice.
Yeah. Yeah,
Good
I
deal.
mean it's super secluded. I think why my sister likes to come down here because there's no one here. It's like it's
Is
not
the
really
beach
a
nice?
it's got sand.
Oh man, you're just really painting a
It's
picture for our four listeners.
it's the Gulf, man. The Gulf isn't pretty.
Yeah. Do you go, does anyone go fishing or do any activity like that?
We don't
But
fish.
you could in that area, right?
Yeah,
Why
you
are you
could.
even
There's
at
a
a
lot of people
beach?
fishing
Why didn't you just stay home in your room then if you don't do anything?
because we like to relax outside.
So
Get
you are
together
gonna
as a
relax
family.
outside. Then that's what you're
Yeah.
doing. Then paint
Yeah, but
that picture.
we're not fishing. It's not pretty.
But you sit on the beach and there's a
Yeah.
but
I'm
like you
not
said, it's
today, but yeah.
secluded. Nice.
Yeah. There's like
So
we're literally like doing nothing. It's you're in the house or you're on the beach. There's no agenda, there's no activity list. It's just
nice.
yeah.
Good deal. Well, yeah. Looks like we got someone coming in from 18 fairway right now. Let's see. They all have their little machines down tracking their numbers on practice rounds.
What's nice is while the deer goes on, WNBA numbers probably hit an all-time high for the weekend.
It's the All-Star break, I think. Oh, he's waiting because someone's trying to hit out of the sand. So, oh, here we go. Out of the sand. This is the same bunker that Steve Sugar hit out of a couple years ago to win it for the third time in a row. And not a bad shot. Oh, little spin back. There you go. Maybe we're commentators for golf now.
Maybe.
So interest rates have been positive over the last little bit. So now the wind is hitting, no effect in sound.
I don't hear anything but you.
It's incredible. What about modern
Yeah.
technology?
Yeah, you're like the old man that finally got a cell phone in 2014. He's like, you can call people on these things? Mhm.
Well, we'll talk just barely any business here today, but the interest rates have been getting better.
Uh-huh.
Today is Tuesday, July 1st. So we're officially halfway through the year. We hit 2 month lows, so not year lows quite yet, but we were slowly, sneakily headed back towards 6.5 as a national average. So we're probably hanging around 6 or so right now and some change. But today, actually, for the first time in like a week, we have gotten some negative slide. And I think that's because they just announced that the Senate passed the big, beautiful bill.
Hmm.
So the markets probably have some concerns with that bill, as do I. Uh, spending is risky. It can work, but it's a long-term thing, and markets like stability. So we'll see what happens. But it's not a huge swing. But we were like positive 15 basis points, and now we're negative 10. So technically, that a quarter is a big swing for a day. But overall, the last few days have added up nicely to where 10 isn't going to hurt you too bad. But we have officially entered potential refi territory for a lot of people. So I was even contacting some clients yesterday here saying, whoa, hey, rates are back where we talked about refining last time. You waited, rates got higher. So this is one of those dips that you could buy uh, in the refinance market. So there's no guarantee with all the tariff talk. July 9th is a artificial deadline set for the Chinese tariff negotiations.
It's the day that the
So
Chinese call the bluff and it gets pushed back until September.
yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. So whatever happens, that could positively or negatively affect rates. Looks like I'm getting a delivery from my mother, bratwurst here from the fine cuisine of Omaha Steaks. Thank you. Um, so there, like here, we just got markets are back to nothing now. So no change on the day. So just under 6.7 as a national average, which I put out a video before. Hopefully people saw that. But national average just means perfect credit, 20% down, probably even buying down a point. So you might see a national average of 6.67, like it just showed me, but you might get quoted 6.75. Like that's possible.
So I
So
have
that,
something I want you to talk about
yeah,
interest rates that I did not realize until I finally just asked the question the other day. I just Googled it. So builders saw a builder advertising 4.75
yeah.
interest rate to close with them if they got under contract this past weekend.
I, I
But
saw it.
underneath,
I,
hold
I
on, but
was I
underneath
was
it,
sent it.
it says 4.75, and then underneath it, it says 5.585 APR. And I was like, why are there two
It's
numbers?
well, it's
And
bigger than that.
your actual year over year interest rate is closer to six than it is the four, whatever. And you're buying it down, regardless of how you get to the four or something.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the difference between your quote unquote interest rate you're seeing on this ad and then your APR, because that
Okay,
was
so
something
this
I
is
never really knew
this is
or understood.
Mortgage 101, APR, annual percentage rate. It is supposed to include the rate and any cost associated with closing that loan. So you can have you get an APR for your car. You get
Hmm.
and then like all the rules about advertising, you're supposed to show the APR because the APR is supposed to be the thing that you use to shop you versus the other guy. So if you're buying a house and you're getting a mortgage from me and then lender B, you're supposed to be able to look at lender B and mine and say, oh, his is APR is 5.8 and Mark's is 5.5. Mark's is better. But
Hmm.
that is not how APR works.
Yeah.
So that was a miss on that whole concept. APR, typically what you're going to see, it calculates it correct, but you can't compare them apples to apples. So APR means points. It means closing costs like lender, underwriting, processing fees, admin fees, whatever else they might charge. So
Hmm.
typically speaking, the biggest thing is points, discount points. So buying down the rate, paying for a lower rate. That's mostly what you'll see in APR. So if you see a rate in the fours and APRs in the five or sixes, then there's going to be quite a few points that you're buying down to get to that rate. So
And then they
what
put
I
it into the loan,
no,
work it
that's a
into
no. You work it
as your
into the rate.
cost.
It's
Yeah,
a
like as your
cost.
cost. Yeah, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
an upfront. It's an upfront cost,
Yeah.
and so yeah, it's a tricky way to manipulate the loan estimate, and it's definitely a good way to advertise if you want to be that guy that advertises one thing and then gives another thing. So when
Like
you go
builders.
in, yeah, I lost the deal to that literally this month or June. So it's fine. Take what you want. As a consumer, I don't have to win every deal, but I told them, bring me the loan estimate when they actually give it to you. Because what they
Hmm.
do is they make you sign a contract with non-refundable earnest money, forcing you to use their lender if you want to take advantage of their concessions or seller credits that they might call it that they're going to give you. So if they're telling you your rate is 4.99 or whatever, and the rate APRs in the fives or sixes, it might even be a temporary buy down. So they're giving you 30 grand, but depending on the house price, all of that 30 or most of that 30 could be going just towards buying the rate down. And those seller concessions that they're giving you aren't helping you with your total closing costs. So my
Yeah.
rate is likely better than their rate straight up. So my APR would be better, my cost would be lower, but they won't give me outside lender those closing costs, so I can't compete. So they
What's
they set
funny
it up
is,
because
yeah.
they own a piece of that company, or they have a partnership in place. Can't call it a kickback because technically it's not a kickback, but they do have a business arrangement where they benefit from having that other lender in most cases, especially the bigger builders. They own the
Hmm.
lender, they own the title company. So when you choose that lender, ask yourselves, is this lender working for me or are they working for the seller?
Yeah. Well, how thin is that line
It's extremely
between
thin.
between kickback and legal?
It's very thin, and they don't care.
Because it would be illegal for you to come out and be like, "Hey, if you use X realtor and X title company, I will
I'll
buy your
give
rate
you
down 25 basis
if
points for you."
if I say that as a lender, I will give you 5 extra K in closing costs if you use my lender and drop your real or my realtor and drop your realtor. I do not believe that that would work.
Yeah.
You'd have to talk to an attorney because even that is a really funky line that you might have to walk. So
Hmm.
that is kind of tough. I don't know the legal answer. We've been looking into it, and
Yeah.
so many lawyers won't answer that question. So the answer is
Yeah.
sure, it might be illegal, but who's gonna come get you?
The people doing it are big enough to where no one's gonna come after them.
Yeah. So a friend of mine from grade school, he's walking by here, is runs the first tee in the area, just like they have in Fort Worth. So really good program for little kids to learn about life and golf at the same time. So that's the cool part now that we're older is everybody around here has a real big boy job and she does great. I saw her earlier. I was like, shoot, maybe we'll ask her
Mhm.
some questions. But yeah, that's the builder. It's a tough one. I shouldn't really even talk about it too much because they have legal departments and I don't. But I can tell you, if you give me a chance, you can even give me fewer dollars than what you might give your preferred lender. Give me 2K less. I bet you I'll cover the spread because our rate and cost starts lower than where their starts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just from experience on the insurance side, so many people that I've dealt with who bought a new build through a builder and I'd done their insurance. The next year, they're like, why is my mortgage payment going up so high?" And I was like, "Well, first of all, your insurance only went up like a couple $100, so it's not me." And then when they dive into it, they look at their taxes, and we've talked about this before. Their taxes are calculated on the lot, not the home.
Well, that's just
That's poor,
that's a bad job. Yeah.
bad job, but they also do that to be like, well, look at all your money. It's less
But
on
that's
on the closing costs.
that's what we've talked about a lot. That's
Yeah.
manipulating the loan
Hmm.
estimates. So is your realtor who is taking you to this new builder, so ask these questions. Did I find this builder or did my realtor push me this way?
Hmm.
Did I find this lender or did the builder push me this way? Did I consult another lender to compare to see, at least try to keep them honest? Um, ask those kind of questions. That's the only way you can really get around it. I lost my train of thought. What was the main point on that last part?
Manipulating
Yeah.
loan.
So are they representing me or are they representing the builder slash seller? Is this in my best interest? All these closing costs. When you really add it up, that's why give me a chance. Try to fight for me because I will fight for you. So why not let me try to fight for you? I called a builder. They wouldn't even call me back. Wouldn't even extend the professional courtesy of saying, "Hey, we don't offer these concessions to an outside lender."
Hmm.
Just straight up ignored me.
Yeah.
Very unprofessional. Big builder in the area, very unprofessional. So if I am an attorney, you would never not call me back because I'm
Yeah.
representing the client. So there's no thing you sign with lenders for representation. You either choose it or you don't. Um, and so that part is a little funky.
I think the whole realtors taking clients to new build communities to me is weird. They have a
Well,
sales agent. I don't go hire
tread
somebody to take me to the car lot to buy a car. The
tread
cars are
lightly.
there.
We have to tread lightly in this conversation because our realtor partners are important to us.
They are,
Um, there's
but they go to
some
builders because there are additional incentives.
they make more money potentially.
Yeah.
So the builder, think about the builder. The builder has the most spread. A
Mhm.
seller for a pre-owned house does not have spread because they didn't create this thing called a house
Right.
or an asset. They have an asset and it has a ceiling value, but they just took land that had a ceiling value and improved it infinitely, for new value or 100 times value. So
Mhm.
they did the work and everything else. Oh, call came in. So it's I would do the same thing in some cases, especially if it fit my client's situation, but just make sure you're asking yourself as a consumer, is all of this for me?
Mhm.
That's the way that I would end that without going on a huge tirade.
Yeah.
Lucas Glover just put it 3 feet from about 140 yards out in the sand.
No idea who that is.
Former winner here a couple years ago. Um, all right. Well, anything else for you? Otherwise, keep an eye on the markets. They're gonna get volatile with this big, beautiful bill thing because it's a huge spending package. So we have to, and we're gonna keep some tax cuts in place and God knows what else because of how many 900 pages there are. So that could absolutely affect our markets quite a bit. It could result in people getting some consumer confidence again and go out and start buying and spending more money. So that hurts inflation and rates coming down, but it helps values. So there's a couple different ways that it could go.
Yeah. I mean, our markets are moving in the right direction. They have been. That was the whole plan of and point of everybody's rates going up last year was that you'd see relief in 25, and we've had some bad storms, but not quite the widespread damage that was anticipated. I mean, it's just a lot of hail, which is bad, but notoriously the hail damage is usually north of Waco, and it's been south of Waco, so it's actually kind of helped quite a bit. Um, but other than that, really nothing much. Market's growing for us, so as more companies come back in and start accepting risk, the pricing gets a little bit more competitive. So it's
So
more
what do you
fun
think
for the homeowner.
for a 300 to $450,000 house, kind of your nowadays average, it's not quite entry, but like reasonable home with a garage and a yard and all that stuff? What do you think a policy is? We've been like that's the other thing about manipulating loan estimates is if someone puts $100 a month in DFW for insurance, they're not showing you a real payment. You might get shocked when you actually get an insurance quote. I usually put anywhere from 250 to 300 a
That's
month
the average.
when I'm estimating. Is that about the average?
That's about the average. Unless you're in a new build. New build you can probably find below 2 grand for the year, but it depends on your location. So we don't care about purchase price because
And
you can buy
and
a
again,
3,000 square foot home for 100 grand and it's a dump.
and
It's about
throw
square
that
footage and zip code.
throw that in the positives for the new builds. There are positives with new builds. They're important for housing. They're important for the markets. They're important for uh, professionals that need to make a living and boost up our market and boost up us as partners. So there are positives to new builds, and lower insurance is absolutely one of them.
Yeah. I would advise if you're buying a new build though, and you're paying $175 a month for insurance, calculate a 30% increase year over year. Like
Good
you
point.
just people are like, well, I paid 1,900 last year, and it's like, yeah, but the house was new in 2018. Now it's hit
Yep,
10 years old or whatever, however old. It's like you've entered into a new category. Like it's no longer new.
that's a great point. Anything else you want to talk about that? Because that's a really good line of thinking. Otherwise, let's wrap this up. Starting to sweat.
Nah,
It's
I
humid
don't
out
want
here.
to. Yeah, I don't want to dive too much into it. But yeah, it's important to know that like your budget is your budget in the time that it's budgeted. And that calendar changes, it's a new budget.
Yep.
So
And
remember
look
that.
at interest rates up down over the last few
Hmm.
years. Look at values up down up down. That's why you need professionals in your corner to help you budget, to show you what you're getting into. Some lenders, especially ones that are just in big offices churning out huge numbers, they're making money, but they're not worried about your budget. They're worried about whether or not it'll close.
Yep,
So get you some good
exactly.
advice. You can be at a large company and have somebody work there that is really good and can give you good advice. Just ask a couple more questions. And really,
Exactly.
That's where you call us,
Yeah, we would love that. Absolutely.
even if I'm on the golf course.
Yeah. We'll wrap there. You got to go advertise. Um,
Yeah, yeah, right there.
just start letting the wind blow your hat off, and people be like, "Hey, sir, your hat." And you're like, "Oh,
Oh, that one of a kind hat there.
yeah." Pull that move. Hey, Mister, I'm lost. I'm lost.
Well,
Play.
Willie Mays wore his hat like two sizes too big, so it would always fall off.
All right. Well, we'll let you go. Good recording.